If you two are done indulging in each other, we have a night to begin.
We're ready, son, I promise.
We won't disappoint you.
See that you don't. The hunger of the gutter is constant. For pretty things, even more so. I'd hate to see you in it. We have the work of the unsavory to do tonight.
There will blood enough for all. Perhaps, yes, even enough for the gutters. Let's not keep the devil waiting, shall we?
Welcome to What's Up Punk, where we take a look at the myriad subgenres underneath the umbrella of punk. Today we're taking a look at Gothic Punk. Yeah, this one's gonna get a little kinky. Can't really be avoided. It's the sexualization of vampires. If vampires ever take a step out of the darkness, their first complaint will be how the media has over-sexualized them. Unless they're Lestat. Then the complaint's gonna be, why wasn't I sexualized more? We are back once more to party with the Nightbreed, the vampire.
What can you tell me about Dracula?
Dracula. Fancy bugger owes me 11 pounds for one thing.
The werewolf. The demon.
Demons aren't real. They're parables, metaphors.
Then what the fuck is that?
The spirit.
Disgusting blob.
The damned. And the dead.
I say don't move, Snow White. You move, you're dead.
And I say I'm dead. And I move.
Unlike Dread Punk, which we covered last Hallowmas, we're not on the foggy cobble streets of London town. We're on the foggy streets of London now. A whatever big city where the Nightbreed can hide in the shadows, spin their deals, sate their thirst, or try to make the wrong things right again. There's a secret song at the center of the world, punks, and it sounds like razors through flesh. What is Gothic Punk? Vampire the Masquerade. Yeah, honestly could show off the vampire short film, and everyone could be out here in a tight. But since we're here and the mic's hot, little known fact.
Little known.
Shut your non-existent hole, Reg. My top 3 favorite genres of punk are cyber, deco,
Been on this gag for years. Bootlegger.
and elf. You okay, Reg? One, because people are just as horny, vicious, and rock stewed as they were back in the olden days of elven and gothic lore, and I like putting a mirror up to humanity and reminding them we don't really change as a whole. The second reason is, well, most of my contemporaries got their first introduction or their cornerstone of how they perceive how magic works through thus.
Incendio!
Calcio!
Stereo!
Wait, no, wrong one. That's a whole different kind of magic. I meant this. Yeah, mine wasn't that.
The moving finger writes, and what it writes is tough shit. You can't get something for nothing. Like God said to Adam when he kicked him out of the garden, now you've got to work for a living. If there ever was a free lunch, it ended right there. So we push and we pull and we sweat, putting in a shitload of energy to get a little back. Third law of thermodynamics, right? The one we all love to hate. Cheers. But with magic, it's different. Or it could be. Case in point, this fine old plunk. How did it get here? Grapes had to ripen. Peasants had to toil. Some plucky kid in marks and sparks had to zip along the aisles with his pricing gun. Lots of effort. Lots of energy. And once it's gone, it's gone. When things fall apart, they do not put themselves back together again. But if you ask a demon to bring you some wine, or jiffy some up with a spell, well, you're cheating the taxman, aren't you? It comes for free. No grapes, no peasants, no entropy. So here we all are then, chasing the earthly paradise, trying to sneak back into Eden through the back door because work is for mug punters. You stupid, arrogant little shits.
To this day, my second favorite Constantine quote. And yes, it's Constantine. Fine like wine, sucker. Can't wait till we get to my favorite line. Oh yes, we're not done with the John, not by a long shot. But yeah, it's that. A darker world sitting underneath a fake one on the surface, filled with the creatures of the Penny Dreadfuls. That's key. It's not the gestalt horror of urban fantasy. Not that I don't love urban fantasy, it's just, it ain't that. Generally not anarchy either. Usually the vampire, but not always, running the world. Or secret societies going to war with one another. And grand conspiracies abound. between the dead and the living and the undead, between the undead and the undead, and the demons that plague them all, and for better or for worse, church militaries.
We got all the financial backing and protection of the biggest corporation in the world.
Because that's not terrifying.
Hooray! It's the Catholic Church! Oh no, it's the Catholic Church!
There are no heroes here, only monsters, and the line between protagonist and antagonist being what lines they choose not to cross. Technology. Contemporary, except for social media? Yeah, remember this whole thing's supposed to be a secret, right? It only takes one tick-tocking thin blood to give up the whole game. How's a familiar supposed to meet their vamp daddy or waifu?
Take those out. Take them out.
Only do it to get laid, man.
Does it work? I'll be damned.
Sorry, introvert, you're gonna have to go outside to find them. Or they're your college roommate.
Blood. In the milk container. In my creepy roommate's milk container. So she's gotta go, right?
Evolution is a staple of this genre, so combat tech gets a bit of the razzle-dazzle. UV bullets developed by the blood bags as tracer rounds, repurposed as suckhead killers. Only turned around and used by the vamps as a silver nitrate delivery system. And just the usual bit of introducing the things that bump in the night to the 21st century.
That was then. This is now.
With that, we keep some of the old rules and lose the rest. Aesthetic. Evolution. Both actual evolution and as a concept. Hybridization or just crisping is a frequent trope of this genre, from the mixing of vampire and werewolf that is Michael, to vampires like Blade or Maria from Gun-Buried Sisters.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
To stepping up to the next stage of their evolution like the Reaper strain.
Look at that. The heart is encased in bone. Only the side is vulnerable.
Good luck getting a stake through that.
Or artificial vampires in Hellsing.
You can't touch me! I was handcrafted to kill you! My speed, my stamina, my power unrivaled! Nay, dwarf yours!
Not only evolution in a biological sense, but evolution in concept. These are in fact modern vampires. With that modernity, well, one, we definitely borrow even more from elven folklore. There's a whole magic system about compelling information from people in VTM. But also, we lose some of the tropes that don't make sense to a modern ear.
Garlic, worthless. A cross, shove it right up their ass. A steak, only if it catches you in the heart, and then it just paralyzes you. Running water, that's no problem. I bathe. Occasionally. Now, a shotgun blast to the head. Oh, that's trouble, boy. Fire, that's real trouble. Sunlight, well, you catch the sunrise and it's all overkill. Get it?
I mean, come on. You're a natural predator. You can drain a fucker dry, take a beat, and keep on kicking. But a stream or a door is supposed to ice you? Come on.
No, I wasn't invited. No!
But with that hybridization of concepts, other things get mixed in. It's pretty accepted these days if you take a silver bullet. Doesn't matter if you had fangs or fur, your ass is out.
He can have my silver dagger.
Thank you. Oh my god. Okay, I think you're tricking his vampiric rage or something.
Then again, some concepts are an evolutionary dead end.
You're beautiful.
Beautiful. This is the skin of a killer, Bill.
One and only Twilight joke, I swear. These creatures of the night wait for the prey to come to them. They come to the clubs they own, pick them off the subway, etc. Or, you know, DoorDash. Oh yes, familiars are alive and well in the modern day. But not poor souls like Renfield twisted into subs. They know who and what they are, hoping to get enough brownie points to be part of the club.
I'm one of Damaskino's familiars. They needed my help to bring you here to control Nomak. The old fuck you was always just bait.
Rep and talent. What is currency to one immortal to another? What is money to a con man mage that can trick you into thinking a playing card is a black Amex? Still the same as anyone else, but turn the big wheels, get the good shit you can't get off Amazon. Reputation and talent is the currency among the creatures of the dark. Taking it to the edge and pulling off something stupid that would get mere mortals dead in the gutter.
You fell over the edge, punk.
Or just moving your political rivals on the chessboard gets you clout, and clout gets you power. Let's talk about drip. It'll be like black and maroon. Yeah, some stuff doesn't change, and black and dark colors will always be in vogue when it comes to goth. Modern goth no different. Ripped clothes, bondage pants, platform shoes. There's many rebellious elements such as spiky hair, safety pins, and studs. And a lot of fetish gear as well. It's an edgy look to the point of comical in some cases, but that's fun too. Also a lot of shirtless jacket bros. If you got it, flaunt it. It's more formal and elegant offerings. Basically, if you're a member of Hellsing or a goth Batcaver from the 90s, they'll fit right in. On the architecture sides, we're kinda everywhere. If you operate in the city, it still has the tall ceilings and pointy aesthetic we covered last year. It's in there. If not, we go everywhere from corpo chic to industrial meatpacking plant that was turned into a secret S&M club. What's a red flag? That sounds as safe as a cottage. To rain slick streets covered in hot neon. The only light in a world of night, eclipsed by skyscrapers of gargoyles. Not saying things don't happen in the day, but yeah, mostly things go down at night. Because that's when the freaks come out. Where did Gothic Punk start? VTM. Right there on page 29 in the original sourcebook from 1991. In big fuck off Gothic type. Next to a still of myself if I let my hair grow out. It chose to have a face again. Gothic Punk. A metaphor for our own world. A warning of what we might become. And a shadow of the sickness that infects us. The Gothic aspect. Ambience and institutions of moral society. The church is stronger because people always turn to the church in times of crisis, and enough people have been touched by the kindred to make a difference. The institutions they control tend to be even more conservative and resistant to change than those of our world. The punk describes the way people live. Gangs rule the streets, and organized crime dominates the underworld, and thus is turned dominated by the kindred. Rock and punk and rap even more of an escape and release, and rebellion codified in the style of dress and speech. All in all, the world is more corrupt, more decadent, and less humane than any suburbanite would like to believe.
The world is not a dark and evil place. It is full of love and understanding.
Oh shit, she's serious.
Gotcha.
Ooh, never mind. VTM was inspired by such role-playing games as Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, and Nightlife, and vampire films such as The Lost Boys. A true growth of the vampire film. The raw bones of Gothic Punk all over this. Before the gang goes culty and murderous, it seemed like a fun group of punks to hang with. The Frog Bros are endlessly charming, the gore and special effects are on point, and plays with the old tropes, mainly having interesting reasons for the one I dunked on earlier, entering a house with or without permission. Vampires can break in if they want, but letting them in nullifies their weaknesses, i.e. holy water or garlic. It's not stated, but I'm sure Vamp, Nick Knight, Light Force, and Fright Night are among its pedigree as well.
Welcome to Fright Night.
Real life Gothic Punks. VTM players. Yeah, well, it started off as a tabletop game. The courtesan-esque politics of Vampire is alive in action and LARPs. Actually, it's where I first heard of VTM. It combines elements of improv, theater, costuming, and oral storytelling, set by mechanics specially designed for live-action play. In short, it's a game where you dress up as creatures of the night. The campaigns are usually morality plays. You all play a monster trying to find their line in the sand. My recommendations. Constantine, the film. So from the diatribe at the beginning, an older cousin must have dropped a stack of Hellblazers in my lap and said go nuts. No, I took, as always, the circuitous path. My first exposure to John was this.
Very unusual for a demon to be so overt. They stay in their place. Usually they're a little more nuanced.
Drink it in, punks. My first exposure to Constantine, and I still like him. Nah, the game's actually pretty good. And a good stopgap for me to get around the movie because I just flat out missed it. Theaters. John, as always, is fucked. At the moment, aggressive lung cancer. His soul currently damned, a usual state for John. But not because he made a deal or because his own arrogance damned an innocent. Nope, it's because of one of the more messed up rules of the church. John, in his youth, took his own life. He was only down for 2 minutes, but it still counts. He is a suicide, and barred from heaven.
You're trying to buy your way into heaven.
What would you do if you were sentenced to a prison where half the inmates were put there by you?
Just as this is going on, the powerful movers and shakers from heaven and hell are working to kick off the apocalypse. Maybe one more job can buy his way in. This is a more blue-collar John, using weapons and items more than incantations. Not that that doesn't happen.
Into the As I command thee. It's the way.
And I don't hate it. While the details are off, it's still a Vertigo story, and some of those items have become iconic. Constantine's tattoos to his lighter. Hell, their version of the disco stick of destiny has probably been used more than purple belly armor. And honestly, Gabe's ending is perfect.
That's called pain. Get used to it.
It also introduced me to Perfect Circle. Constantine, the series.
My name is John Constantine. I'm the one who steps from the shadows, all trenchcoat and arrogance. I'll drive your demons away, kick them in the bollocks, and spit on them when they're down, leaving only a nod and a wink and a wisecrack.
Oh, Johnny boy, Johnny boy, Johnny boy. While Silverhand is a great blue-collar punter of the occult, Matt Ryan is Constantine, the bastard magician, a con man of cheap tricks and theatrics. Damn, wish this had been made in the age of streaming series. Like any good cockroach, you can't keep John down. Really hope this isn't the end of the line for you, Matt. Anyway, the series. John is 3 months out of the Newcastle incident. If you know, you know. Currently getting his egg fried in hopes of being convinced that the occult isn't real. Only for a dead friend to reach out and say hi, pulling John back on the street to do what he does best. Cheap magic, loose morals, and weaponized enigmatism. To kick the rising darkness in the bollocks and undam his soul. Minus the first episode, the show is really held up, just as much as the movie. But it suffers a bit from being created for cable and in the wake of the New 52. But it's overall a good series and deserves more time than it got. Really appreciate Z's Room and the blown up version of some of the great covers Hellblazer had over the years. The Crow, comic and original movie. Nope. Not a line, not a sound, not even a synopsis. If you haven't seen the 90s Crow or read the original comic, shame on you. Shame on your house, shame on your dog. It's got the Chaos Theater's gold standard seal of approval. If you haven't seen the movie because of the tragedy behind it, sit your ass down. I'm about to learn you something. First and foremost, this entire work is nothing but tragedy, and that's why I love it. The first issue of the 45 issues that make up the original Crow was written so Obar, the book's writer, could come to terms with his fiance's death, killed in a drunk driving accident. The black and white, a deliberate, moody choice to reflect Obar's pain and grief that he pours into the purple prose of this story. On the movie side, yes, it's an absolute tragedy that we lost Brandon Lee. But not seeing it because of that, disregard 186 plus people that sweated on that movie. It's also really, really good. Okay, one clip. Keeping this trend going, this is the movie that introduced me to The Cure. Before we move on to the Fangs and Fur, one last bit of black magic. Several writers that wrote for Hellblazer have met John Constantine in the real world. More multiple times. Even had a bit of a chinwag with him once.
He steps out of the dark and speaks to Moy. He whispers,
"I'll tell you the ultimate secret of magic. Any cunt could do it."
And the producers of The Crow were warned as the movie was being made that something bad was going to happen. By an anonymous phone call. Just saying, keep your eyes wide open out there, punks. Blade 1 and 2. What can I say about Blade that hasn't been already said? If it wasn't for B, there wouldn't be an MCU. That the character was originally more like his parody Jefferson Twilight before the movie came out, and now he's the street Ronin we all know and love. I like all three movies. I will admit that parts 1 and 2 are A+, while part 3 is a solid C+.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Donald Logue actually broke his jaw on set. Whistler was invented for the 90s Spider-Man show. Wow, Blade owes a lot to outside media. Reinhardt asking Blade if he blushes was based on a real incident that happened to Wesley Snipes. It's Blade. Who hasn't seen these movies? If you haven't, fix that.
There's only been one Blade. There's only ever gonna be one Blade.
Underworld and Underworld Evolution. Wow, can you tell this is a post-Matrix movie? I can. Both movies are certainly a recommend, but I honestly don't really like these movies. It comes from my Matrix quip. It's super stylish with great action and that eye candy. It's also the best vampire/werewolf love story I've ever seen, but neither Selena or Michael have a lot of personality, which works narratively. Mike is working through a tragic loss before he got thrown into the Fang and Fur BS. Selena was conditioned to be a living weapon, finds out her Great Crusade was actually a great manipulation. It all really works. I just need a bit more meat.
You don't scare me, Celine.
Well, we're gonna have to work on that.
Honorable mention. Hard Place of Devil May Cry, the entire series, which I found out recently, is all canon. Like the novel, the anime, the games, I'm assuming the new anime. Yes, it's weird Virgil's now playing Dante, but whatever.
It's gotta stay in the family.
Excluding DMC, all canon. That's awesome. Like, that shouldn't work, especially given the origins of Dante's shotgun has 2 origins now. I love all of DMC except 2. But no one likes 2. The creators don't even like 2. Anyway, it's hard to parse that this belongs here. Demons are goth punk. Dante's overall look and demeanor is very punk.
That filthy scum is my father.
Well, we have something in common. I have a dysfunctional family too.
There's definitely a secret world underneath the real world with gothic undertones. It should work, but this thing doesn't feel right. I think it's the questionable status of the masquerade. Yeah, demons being real isn't common knowledge, but people do hire Dante to hunt them down. And it's not like Dante is doing anything to keep this secret. I might just be overthinking this, but whatever. Devil May Cry. Dante is one half of the Sons of Sparta, a demon lord that fell in love with a human and rebelled against the forces of hell. Dante makes his way through life as a demon hunter with a lot of style. Out of his now franchise shop, Devil May Cry.
Maybe somewhere out there, even a devil may cry when he loses a loved one.
Does make you a little bitch, though.
There it is.
His brother Virgil is a bag of dicks that wished upon a star to be a real boy. Yeah, 5 games and 1 remake, and I don't really get Virgil's deal. He wants to be more powerful and kill Dante. Easier said than done.
We're the same. You and...
And that's about it. Dante has saved the earth a few times, but rarely gets a paycheck for those big jobs. It's the small ones keep Dante in the finer things like pizza and Sundays. I honestly recommend the whole series, even DMC. It's only real crime is being a remake of the game that invented the hack and slash genre. If they just made this guy a bastard son of Sparta or another demon hunter in the same universe, it would have done way better. Anyway, DMC 4 is my favorite game, as it's the first game I played and kind of brought me into the series, but DMC 3 is definitely the best game in the series with the best version of Dante. If anyone at Capcom sees this, please give Dante his own game again. I love Nero, with or without the chrome arm, but it's still Dante's show. Oh, and I once watched the voice actors for Dante and Virgil wail on each other with training swords at a fanime. It was awesome. Next! How do I feel about Gothic Punk? Really like it, totally my jam. I love some Creatures of the Night under hot neon. It definitely hits me in the serotonin. If I had a complaint, I didn't find any newer examples of the genre, but that's not really surprising. Now with the Mormon propaganda machine that was Twilight, I did my best. And the Gestalt horror that is urban fantasy, running amok, there's been little room for this one in recent times, and it's not like VTM's going anywhere. If we could get an update on when Bloodlines 2 is coming out, that'd be great. I was left on such a cliffhanger.
Office bots, transform and clock in. Deformers!
Whatever became of the noble office bots. Well, this has been What's Up Punk. Till next time, it's 2 a.m. somewhere, so curl up with a scary story. Something with gnashing teeth and dark allure, and reminded that the worst things coming out at night is you. Keep on being a no-good, dirty punk. You know it, you love it, here's the spiel, let's do it. Hey, subscribe to be my subscriber. Hit the bell so you know when I've actually posted stuff. Still no idea why those two things are separate now, but whatever. And of course, hit like to appease the algorithm gods. All fear and praise. On a list of whatever YouTubes, I am also probably not going to get any ad revenue for these videos, so if you would be so kind, check out that Patreon and the GoFundMe. Links in the description.